Hey everyone, I'm Thomas Wooden Railway, and today I'm going to show you all how I display and store all of my Thomas Wooden Railway items that I've accumulated over the years. I've been getting this question for a really long time. Thomas Wooden Railway, how do you display or store all of your stuff? And really there's no easy answer. It's gone through several different evolutions over the years, but I wanted to show off what it currently looks like, and then I'm also going to explain a few things relating to 2023 and beyond at the end of this video. So anyway, this is how things are currently set up. I'll get back to this area in a little bit. I know it's really cool to look at, but I have a whole bunch of bins over here, and then I have like this little display case thing, cubby area as well. And then if you follow me on Twitter and other social media websites, you may have seen this counter over here. And this is a very impromptu video that I didn't really plan, so I have messy stuff all over the ground here. I apologize for that, but this is a very unfiltered and a very raw look at behind the scenes of Keekre24 Studios. So if you've been watching my YouTube channel for a long time, you'll know that I've done the majority of my filming here in the basement. It kind of has like this signature. At one point it looked more yellow than it does right now because I changed out the lights last year, but kind of has that signature, I don't know, some people call it like a shag carpet, but I filmed a lot of videos down here, and 2023 is actually my 15th anniversary on YouTube, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video. So back in the early days, my Thomas Wooden Railway collection was so small that I pretty much built a layout like in this area right here. Would just fit very nice. But as my collection expanded and I got more track and cooler destinations, I kind of outgrew little areas of the basement that I would build layouts in, and eventually I just took over the entire basement as well. So many of you probably remember up against this wall there was like a big gray fat dinosaur type TV that finally went away a couple years ago. And then you may remember right in this area actually there was a foosball table. You probably saw the black legs of it in several videos, and I would build around the table because again it's a basement and you don't want to take over the whole thing. But eventually it just got in the way. I wasn't really playing foosball anymore, so that went away. And since about 2015 or so, my collection has just expanded exponentially, and I went from just a couple of bins to many, many, many bins, as you can see right here. And that's when I really took over the basement, and I started making layouts that, I mean, covered like the whole thing, and eventually went over here and up against, I was basically using all of the carpet that was available, and it made for some really cool videos. But I tell you, trying to walk around here and all that, it was kind of a lot. So anyway, this is not actually how I normally have my bins. They're not normally up against this wall. Normally, especially when I made Thomas Wooden Railway original episodes, they were actually in this corner right here where there's a couch you've probably seen glimpses of in the background from time to time. I usually stack those bins on the couch right here because, if I'm being honest, nobody really uses the basement but me. I have control over it 99% of the time, so I'm going to make it how I want to make it. But there are some times that I do have to share. And so normally I have all of the bins, most of the bins I should say, over here. I stack them on the couch. I will move that brown table right there, which is like a coffee table. I'll move that into the corner here and stack things on top of that, and I'll stack bins beside it and around it, and basically all the bins that I have will exist in this area right here. So again, the couch isn't really used as a couch. It's more of like a staging area. But since this is still a basement, can't get rid of the couch because other people do come down here once in a while and use it. So that's why the couch is still there. But anyway, most of the bins are usually over here. Right now, obviously this looks very different if I'm filming an episode or something, but right now I just have kind of things everywhere. For those who don't know, I have an eBay account where I sell duplicates or whatever. So this is a lot of eBay stuff right here. Packaging, you know, paper things, bubble wrap, boxes, everything. This is an empty green bin. This is something I've gotten in the past year. This is like an official Thomas Wooden Railway, I guess you would call it like toy chest. Anyway, I filled it up with several things. This is a lot of new in-box stuff that's not Thomas Wooden Railway that I care about, but like not really. So there's like Trackmaster stuff, there's some Ertls, some wood stuff, and then this is a Thomas Wooden Railway bin with just a whole bunch of like push along stuff that I got for really cheap. This is stuff that I want to keep, but I don't necessarily care about displaying. So that's what's in here right now. This is really, really awesome. I got to admit, it's super sturdy, fits quite a bit of things, and it has Thomas and Henry on the front. So This right here is also a Thomas Wooden Railway destination, but it's so huge I never really want to take the time to take it apart, so it just sits there. We got some empty bin or divider things. This is a Thomas big loader set that actually has all the pieces. It's really awesome. These are the stickers and the instructions. This is the play board that I had when I was a kid. I've kept it all these years because I love it. You'll probably recognize it from some discussions or reviews or anything like that. And then these bins right here are actually new bins. When you buy enough things off of Facebook Marketplace, people just tend to give you bins with the stuff. So if you look closely, that's like all my adventure stuff and that's all my push along stuff. Don't know if they'll stay in these bins for long, but that's just where I have them right now. And then again, very messy, I apologize. This is more Facebook Marketplace stuff. That's mostly road vehicles that I don't have a place to store. These are pieces of rolling stock that are not currently up here. I'll talk about that in a bit. And then yeah, just kind of duplicates or extras or whatever of stuff. More eBay stuff right here. That big bin or that big box, that's stuff that I currently have listed. Maybe some things I'm gonna sell, not sell. Yeah, this is kind of just a random area, and just some of this stuff, yeah, I'm gonna sell, but then like this, for example, these are boxes from a recent Craigslist thing I'm going to keep, and then these are actually yearbooks that I'm gonna sell. So yeah, just very random, very messy right now. Apologize, I didn't really take the time to make it nice and clean. There's a tripod that I use for filming. So yeah, just like I said, a very unfiltered look here. About 6 months ago, I decided to put a lot of my, I guess you would call it like prominent rolling stock up here. So I have a bunch of track that kind of sits sideways, and we got trucks on one side, coaches on the other. Got some, I guess more of the common, or I guess rolling stock with duplicates over there. Really, I just wanted to cram as many cool things into this area as I could. And you can see there's like duplicates and stuff. It's like all my Annies, all my Clarabelles, all my troublesome trucks. So this area, this mini counter that you're looking at, I had never really used before, but I was like, you know what, I'm kind of in the mood to display some things. So that's what this is over here. Really quick, I want to hop back over here and talk a little bit about the history of this countertop, because obviously this countertop was not built to house all of these wooden railway trains. I basically took it over. But when I was making episodes of my wooden railway series, I actually turned the trains sideways, like like how Thomas is positioned right here. And I just had like, you know, a 2013 Thomas and a 2013 Edward, Henry, Gordon. I had all the trains lined up in a couple of different rows, and then between the rows I had like, you know, troublesome trucks and express coaches and just a lot of that stuff on the other counter, a lot of those pieces of rolling stock that I would need either for episode plot points or just background stuff. But I didn't have all of the duplicate engines out that you see here. I really just had like my one Thomas, and then all of the extra engines, they were just in like another bin or they were displayed elsewhere. But since I'm kind of on hiatus from my wooden railway stuff, my series at the moment, I decided for the first time, I'd never done this before, I wanted to show off like all the different versions of Gordon and Percy and whatnot all the way through. So it starts with Thomas on the left. It goes all the way down. You can kind of see where we get to the end of like the standard gauge, and then it rolls nicely into narrow gauge, and then like my custom Coldy Fell engines and the small railway. And hard to believe, you know, with the exception of a few new additions to my collection, like it ended up working out perfectly. Like it stopped like right where this sink was. And so it's not like I bled over into this other area. So this is actually a working sink. Like I said, you know, other people do use this basement. The basement did have a different roll at one point. Yep, it works. It's not just for show, but again, I've like totally taken it over. So then like custom Coldy Fell engines, my custom engines, these are all of the Brio engines that I have, and then like these are the new 2022 custom, or excuse me, Thomas Wooden Railway items with a few customs over there, I might add. So I'll talk more about this in a little bit, but I just wanted to explain this is where I stored a lot of my stuff for the past like 10 years or so. But since I'm on hiatus from making Wooden Railway episodes, I decided to turn it into something a little bit different. And it's kind of cool to have all the engines lined up like this. It really, really is cool. So anyway, back to here, I mean, the elephant in the room, or the big box in the room, is that, yeah, I have a lot of bins. The trains themselves, in like the scheme of things, really don't take up that much space. It's like these huge destinations, and they just take up so much space. So I've had to get many bins over the years. When I first started YouTube in 2008, and the collection that I had at my time was mostly Thomas Wooden Railway stuff that I had when I was a kid. My entire collection, all my trains, track, destinations, everything, they fit in 2 of these bins right here. So like 1 and 2. And you can see just how far we have grown. And of course, this doesn't even include all the stuff that's like being displayed and everything like that. It really is crazy. So yeah, yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling. And so a lot of these bins that you see here, this is for destinations and stuff. They aren't really grouped in any way. You know, like this bin, for example, this is a lot of leftover stuff from when I filmed for the TCC back in like 2017, 2018, just some extra boxes. Lego track, how I filmed tracking shots. Again, like Bachman stuff that I was able to use. You look really closely, you'll see some like custom faces and stuff, some trains I don't use as often, but this is kind of leftover TCC stuff. There's some trees, there's some gravel, some lichen. So like, yeah, there's like certain boxes have like, I guess a specific purpose, but like this is just destinations. This is just destinations. This bin in the back, this is actually just, I believe it is just non-traction rail curves for the most part, with a few leftover pieces of traction rail straight track, because most of that, as you can see, a lot of the engines I have displayed are on track, so a lot of that straight track went to this whole deal here. So when you think about it, this gigantic bin, very big bin, that's like just curves, which is crazy. A lot of these bins are just random stuff, like this is stuff I haven't decided what to do yet. Some of them are more organized than others, like look at all those bridges, so nice together, and then like you look at this and everything's just thrown in upside down. Yeah, so it just kind of depends. There's these new boxes that I have with these gray lids, and I actually went to Walmart a couple of months ago and they had these on clearance for $3 a piece. And I was like, oh boy, this is my opportunity. So the idea here, and I have some more right there, and you probably saw over here, I got more of them. I bought like 30 or 35 of these bins at $3 a piece. The hope is that one day I will migrate all of this stuff that's in different size bins into like one uniform size, so that, you know, when I'm not using the bins, for example, you can store them on top of each other, the lids go together, versus like kind of this ragtag assortment thing that I have right now. So I have a couple of those new bins in action, but really quick, let's see. This is all just clickety-clack switches. And this is clickety-clack curves and ascending, clickety-clack straight track, traction rail, switches, random stuff. This is just road pieces, road curves, road ascending track. This is from the Percy's Chocolate Crunch set, or whatever it's called. This is where all of my risers exist. Yeah, I have a lot of risers. And so yeah, I've done a little bit of like assorting, I guess, but then most of these destinations, I mean, they're still just very thrown in here, very hobjob. So I also wanted to talk about this. If you follow me on social media, specifically Twitter, you'll have seen this little, I guess you could call it like display case, or more, it's more of like a little cubby or a nook. As I've taken over the basement over the years, I decided to turn this into like, I wouldn't really call it like Hall of Fame type stuff, but just some really cool Thomas Wooden Railway stuff that I have that's mostly new in the box. So you can see some limited edition stuff, just cool things I've picked up on eBay over the years. That's an instant set right there. Stuff that if you've watched my collection videos, you've probably seen over the years, but also some pretty hard to find stuff as well. So just wanted to, I found like a nice way of displaying it, and I just wanted to show it off here. So this is like one little section, and then we move over to this other section. It's not just reserved for Thomas Wooden Railway stuff. I really like how these motorized 75th anniversary engines look, so that's why they're there. They fit very nicely in the shelving area as well. And then some more Wooden Railway stuff. And I have a lot more stuff I could fit in here. I've just kind of had to choose the best of the best. And then, for example, like this is a new addition to my collection. I definitely want to put James where Thomas and Percy are, but I just don't have the room. So that's why James is sitting there. So anyway, yeah, this is kind of like the, I guess you would call like the heavy hitters, or just like the really cool stuff in my collection, or at least part of it. So if you look closely over here, like you'll see some new inbox stuff, some new inbox 2022 stuff that I haven't gotten around to unboxing. I want to do videos on those, but then some older older sets as well that I haven't unboxed at this point because I do want to make videos about them. But then, like, you know, some of this stuff is like has been in my possession for like 3 years and I still haven't unboxed it, so I probably need to get around to doing that. I also really quickly want to talk about, these are more storage bins that I went out and bought at Walmart. When you get a collection to the size that I have, organization becomes really, really important. So I've divided a lot of stuff up, like here are all the animals and the signs, signals, like this is all people. You can see like how many people, that's a lot of people right there. Cargo stuff that's not currently being displayed anywhere, that's 1. That's 2 versus just, you know, throwing it in a bin and just having it end up somewhere. I also started doing this with the smaller pieces of track because the way things work, you throw a bunch of track in a bin, the smaller pieces always work their way to the bottom there. And so it's like if I'm building a layout or I need something, it's like, oh, I need a 2-inch traction rail piece of track. Instead of digging through a bin, which will literally, I'm not joking, I mean literally, it'll waste hours of your life. It's just easier just to have them in like a place where I know they are. So that's traction rail 2-inch, traction rail female, traction rail male, and then like same thing but just like unbranded pieces of track. It just makes building layouts and knowing where everything is just like a lot easier. And then over here, like all my buffers, all the ramps. This at one point, this whole thing was 3-inch pieces of track, but the length of the counter here, you can kind of see from above, like right on like sir handle and stuff, you can see I've needed to use like 3-inch pieces of track all the way down for that perfect track length to come to the edge of the counter here. So pretty much all these are being used right now. I have a couple of stragglers. And then like all my pine trees, I guess you would call these like maple trees, and empty trees, or empties, I guess. So wanted to show that off. You will recognize this from videos I've done. There used to be a mini fridge here. Don't know where that went. We don't have it anymore. But anyway, white mini fridge, that went away. And I've used this area for many different things on layouts and everything. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. So I've shown off all of like the quote unquote out of box engines, but the backdrop here is stunning as well. So many new inbox engines. These again are just kind of like my favorites. I'll show you guys where the rest of those exist. That middle line of engines that you see, you can tell that they're all Thomas's. And if we start down here on the left, we'll start with like a 1992 Thomas that, if you look closely, it's not new inbox, has a few little edge wears, but nothing major. But then that middle line kind of works through all the different iterations of the packaging. I did a video on this back in like 2018. So yeah, it just works its way down from like the early 2000s, mid 2000s, 2011, 2013, 2016 or 17, and then I even included wood. I could throw up the boxes for the new Thomas Wooden Railway up here. I know they make hangable versions, but I think it would just look a little too out of place here. So speaking of the new 2022 Thomas Wooden Railway stuff, I think I have pretty much everything right here, including some customs. I have the boxes to this stuff up here, along with a few other things. So I was a big fan of how the boxes look, so I'm going to keep those. And then there's just a few extra surprises as well, like, you know, is that Lights and Sounds, excuse me, Percy and James, which I'll probably display one day. And then like Thomas and the Jet Engine, very cool. Just don't have the room for it in a random milk tanker. So I got a few more things to show off here in terms of new inbox stuff. So this is really like the best of the best, my favorite things. At one point I did try to organize them like 1990s stuff down here and mid 2000s stuff here and onwards, but I would just rather show off the items that I guess I'm most proud of, or the things that I would like to show off. But here is where everything else exists. I probably have more items, quote unquote, in storage than I do actually display, because I only have so much space down here. So here is all the rest, the majority of the rest of the new inbox stuff that I have in terms of just like single engines. I've just picked this stuff up over the years. When I used to buy stuff off of eBay, I always bought with the intent of I'd need it for an episode, but as I've kind of transitioned from making a lot of content all at once, I've gotten more into like the collector's mind. So it's like, oh, it'd be really cool to have like a, I don't know, like a 2013 Henry and then a 2017 Henry. I mean, that's an extreme example, but just like, oh, like I have Patchwork Hero, but it'd be cool to have them new in box, or Hard at Work Percy, something like that. So this is where the rest of that stuff exists. I'm not going to bore you with like going through everything here, but you can pause the video and see what I'm talking about. You know, it's a lot of Mattel stuff, to be honest, but then there are a few stragglers. I got a bunch of new Thomases from 2013 back there and some wood stuff that I've kept. So basically, this is where everything else exists. It's quote unquote, it's in like, you know, I guess mini storage. I could always go in here and dig things out and swap them out, but I just tend to keep what I have out right here just because it's a lot of work to do that. I also have these cabinets right here. This is a little less crowded, but I still got some cool stuff in here. So there's like some interactive railway stuff and some Erdls, some Brio stuff. This is just old school pamphlets. These are, I believe, yeah, these are the new pamphlets from 2022. Some Factory Air, Trackmaster stuff, Factory Air Adventures, just random stuff that I haven't thrown in a box yet. Here's the first run of the metallic stuff that I talked about. I like the second version better, where it went to like that more blue sky, green hills type thing. And these are actually batteries when I used to do Trackmaster stuff, the AAA batteries there. So I have more storage stuff there, but wait, it's not over. I have more stuff to show off down here. This used to be a lot more organized. I used to have track in here lining up. These are all Factory Air items that I've collected over the years. When I was lining the big engines up, I needed track, so I stole it from here and never took the time to, you know, to fix it. So just some Factory Air stuff and some, you know, customs that never worked out. This, it looks really suspicious, but it's actually a battery-powered Thomas, and then an extra Annie and Clarabelle. And when I travel, I like to film shots of battery-powered Thomas traveling around the world. So maybe you'll see that video one day. So messy right now, used to not be that way. This bin, or excuse me, this like drawer, this is just random stuff as well. Got like all my yearbooks right there. This is full of character cards, this whole box right here. Just some other flat stuff I've collected over the years, like magazines and display things, you know. Yeah, just more yearbooks, some capsule play rail stuff. I use these command hooks to hang all the things that you see right there. They've treated me very well. Some faces from customs, just stuff that I don't quite want to throw out, but I don't know what to do with. Some restock cards. Yeah, just definitely a junk drawer for sure. And then this one's not as exciting, but still important stuff right here. I got Thomas thank you cards, Thomas stickers. I've started to keep a lot of the instructions I've received. This is just stuff from traveling around the world and notes from friends and everything. This is a Thomas luggage tag, a Thomas postcard. This is from that gray TV that I no longer have, probably can throw that out. Instructions. This is actually where I keep all the receipts for the taxes that I did, because this is all tax deductible. Some whistles that I've collected over the years. Again, just more kind of junky stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that I haven't been able to like show or display over the years just because I lack the space. Like this is a really cool like poster of Thomas that I got from a train shop that closed down, but it's like a giant sticker and I don't know what to do with it, and I've had it for 6 years. So that continues to exist. This is like a gravel mat. That is a green grass mat, a poster. These are all empty boxes. Actually, this has a set in it, but then these are empty boxes that I used to give away. I'll probably keep these. I'll explain that in the future. Probably start keeping this stuff. You know, bins I've talked about. More bins. We got, this is a cool Magic Railroad poster that I'd love to hang up someday. And stickers. I bought a sticker book like a long time ago, and I was cleaning some stuff out and finally found these, so I'll find a use for those. But yeah, that's pretty much how everything is divvied up here. It's a lot of stuff, and I feel like I've kind of got like a really cool way of displaying it all. I want to show off one more other thing. We started this video over here. I kind of have this little, I don't know what you would call like ledge here. Just some cool things, like this is a big Thomas that I showed in a video back in 2018. For those who don't know, I'm really into NASCAR, and Lionel makes trains, but they also make die-cast cars. So here are two examples of Lionel die-casts that they made. There's also a Lionel Trains logo. Oh, a little too far. Lionel Trains logo right there. And then back in 2016, this is not like an official product, but this was an actual car that was raced in NASCAR. This company, I think that's Nyko Toys. They ran a Thomas the Tank Engine paint scheme on a car. It was like an RC Thomas that they came up with or something like that. So this right here, most people would probably say this is Sir Topham Hatt in a shot glass. I would say it's Sir Topham Hatt in a toothpick holder. But this is the Sir Topham Hatt I've used for so many years. I deliberately pulled him aside and kept him separate from all those other people I had over there. So yeah, this is the Sir Topham Hatt I've used consistently for like 10 years at this point. When I first started YouTube, I just grabbed whatever Sir Topham Hatt I had, but this is like the one, I guess. And then I also got like a fake Stanley I used in a video when I went to Strasbourg. Had a piece of track engraved with my YouTube channel. And then these are some plastic Thomas and Percy, or Thomas and, honestly, Thomas and Thomas toys that came with one of those push-along Thomas things. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of behind-the-scenes look as to how everything goes. There's also a cool Thomas thing that I forgot to mention over there. But there were two reasons I wanted to make this video. One is because I've received this request numerous times, so I wanted to show how everything's currently displayed. As you can tell, I've tried to display as much as I can, but I simply have so much stuff that a lot of it gets put into quote-unquote unofficial storage up there. The other is that I kind of have some, I guess, bittersweet news. After 15 years of making videos in this basement, I'm going to be moving to a new location here shortly. This basement is where I've made the majority of my videos since I started making YouTube videos, and we've had a lot of great memories down here. A lot of cool layouts were made, and I mean, it was just kind of inevitable, but I'm going to be moving to a new place. All of this Thomas stuff is going to be coming with me, but just fair warning, this new place is going to be much smaller than this current basement that I have control over. But it's really going to be like, I guess, a designated like train room, I guess. And I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are too. I plan on documenting how I turn this room into basically like a Thomas paradise, and making hopefully several YouTube videos about it, but if not, just one. So I kind of wanted to show how everything is down here before I make the big move, and that's why I got these bins, because there's a lot of stuff that hasn't had to go into a bin for a very long time that's going to need to find a home very soon. So I just wanted to show how everything is as of right now. Like I said, when I started making YouTube videos, everything I had fit into 2 of these bins. It's now probably, I don't know, I probably need like 40 of those bins maybe to make it all work. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this behind the scenes look. 2022 was kind of an off year for me. You know, 2023 is going to be the 4th year of the COPPA stuff, and unfortunately the types of videos that I used to make just don't really belong in our current YouTube. So I still want to make Thomas Wooden Railway content, and I plan on doing that. Otherwise, I would not be telling you I'm moving to a new place and bringing all this stuff with me. This stuff would just be packed up or whatever. I am going to be making content here in the future, but yeah, just had to kind of reevaluate the videos that I make on YouTube, because unfortunately a lot of pretty much every new episode that I've uploaded since 2020 has been hit with the made for kids thing, and that just unfortunately kills everything. So it's weird though, unboxing videos and stuff like that, more of like educational videos on the product, haven't been hit. So I think that's what I'm going to be leaning into in the future. But yeah, a lot of stuff still to be determined. Unfortunately, you know, I survived a little bit when COPPA started, but things just kind of decided to take their toll eventually, and I've been kind of put into a hard spot, and I don't really know what else to do. But I don't want to give this up completely, but I just have to kind of change the content that I'm going to make. So Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Thanks for watching this video, everybody. I hope you have a great new year. 2023 for me is going to be a year of celebration. It's also going to be a year of new beginnings and sort of a refresh. So I hope you guys are excited for what's coming down the line. And I guess I'll talk to you soon. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon.